welcome to Quest News. I am Mariah Goreti Ulube. First, the headlines. Tinubu seeks 1.15 trillion domestic borrowing for 2025 budget. Federal High Court sets November 5 deadline for Nnamdi Kanu to begin defense. From Delta State, resident doctors urge government to meet demands, seek dialogue to end strike. On foreign scene, former North Korean state head Kim Jong-nam dies at 97. And in sports, Rivers United join CAF Group A showdown. Now the news in full. Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori has been honored with the prestigious Hubert Wigwe Award for Excellence at the ongoing Africa International Film Festival, AFRIF, in Lagos. The award, which also recognized Nigeria's Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, celebrates individuals and institutions that have significantly advanced the nation's creative and entertainment industry. Receiving the award on the governor's behalf, Deputy Governor Monday Onyeme thanked the AFRIF organizers, describing the recognition as a testament to Delta State's growing influence in the creative sector. He highlighted the state's ongoing initiatives to strengthen the creative economy and emphasized that Delta remains one of Nigeria's most peaceful and investment-friendly destinations for film production and entertainment ventures. Onyeme reaffirmed the Oborevwori's administration's commitment to improving the welfare of creative professionals and ensuring Delta continues to play a leading role in the nation's entertainment landscape. The Delta State House of Assembly has begun the process of repealing the 1977 Rent Control and Recovery of Residential Premises Law. The development was announced during a public hearing on the bill to repeal the Rent Control and Recovery of Residential Premises Law of 1977 and establish the Landlord and Tenant Law 2025, held at the Delta State House of Assembly Press Center in Asaba, the state capital. The hearing was chaired by Chairman of Joint Committee on Housing, Women Affairs, Girl, Child, Entrepreneurial Services, and the Committee on Physical Planning and Urban Renewal, Bridget Anyafolu. Recall that during the public hearing, Honorable Bridget Anyafolu explained that the proposed legislation seeks to regulate relationships between landlords and tenants, tenancy agreements, rent payments, and rent control.
And enact a law to regulate the relationship between landlords and tenants in a tenancy and to provide for the procedure for the recovery of premises and for other related matters. The bill seeks to regulate and sensitize the state housing sector. It defines the role, obligation, and activities of all key actors and operators in the housing sector: the government, the landlords, agents, and tenants.
Of resident doctors have urged the federal government to review its demands and convene a roundtable discussions to avert a prolonged industrial action. The appeal was made on Tuesday in Asaba during Quest Television's breakfast program Quest Today on the segment titled The Big Story. Speaking on behalf of the doctors, the president of the Association of Resident Doctor FMC Asaba, Dr. Oji Ifani, stated that the association remains open to dialogue provided the government is willing to engage meaningful and address the 19-point demand that led to the ongoing strike. Highlighting the issues that triggered the industrial action, Dr. Oji identified the government's failure to prioritize the welfare of medical practitioners, which categorized into financial and policy-related concerns. He lamented situations where doctors are unjustly dismissed for personal reasons, while others are compelled to work extra hours, unlike in other countries where medical personnel enjoy better working conditions and shorter hours.
What prompted the strike is because of government's inability to actually cater for the welfare of doctors, and I will basically classify them into financial and policy issues. As for the financial issues, we have a lot of arrears that government is yet to pay, some of them spanning since 2021, and we've been on this issue with the government and they have refused to pay. Then on the policy issues, recently 5 doctors were sacked in FTH Lokoja, and we're asking that these doctors should be reinstated, knowing fully well that we have a lot of brain drain. And part of the reasons we're actually on this strike is because an average doctor does a total of 300 and something hours of call in a month. In SENA countries, 1 unit of call is 1 hour. However, in Nigeria, 1 unit of call is 8 hours. And you're expected to do 40 units of call in a month. So you can do the math. So we are asking that, first of all, these doctors should be reinstated, because in the same institution, we have people, about 2 of them, doing call non-stop for 1 month. And the MD still felt that it was right to sack 5 doctors. So imagine maybe those doctors that were doing call for straight 1 month, by the sacking of those doctors, they might continue to do call for the straight 2 months.
Highlighted the issues that triggered the industrial action, Dr. Orji identified the government's failure to prioritize the welfare of medical practitioners, which he categorized into financial and policy-related concerns. He stressed on the countries where medical personnel enjoy working conditions and shorter hours. He appealed for the employment of doctors as full-time staff with remuneration commensurate to their workload, while advocating for younger doctors to be placed on a fair and structured salary scheme.
We want doctors to be employed as doctors and placed on a salary scheme that is commensurate to their employment, not casualizing them, giving them an appointment that you can wake up the next day and dismiss them. And it also goes to our younger doctors, the house officers. They should be placed on a known commerce salary scheme. And the recent downgrading of the entry level of doctors from Commerce 3 to Commerce 2 should be immediately reversed. It should be immediately reversed. We cannot be talking about the welfare of doctors and the government at the same time is downgrading the salary entry points for doctors. Also, the issue of the IP centralization. Before now, once someone passes his or her exams to be promoted in our medical field, he naturally is promoted or upgraded in IP's platform. However, recently, what it means, decentralization means that it's going to take a minimum of 1 year for them to be upgraded. This is somebody that has paid, that has gone for exams and all of that. So it is inhuman for government to bring these policies that are actually anti-doctor. And there are many other things that we're asking them to do. One-on-one replacement, for instance. They should be able to replace any doctor that leaves. Then the downgrading of our West African certificate is not just inhuman, it's insulting. That a similar exam that another person from another West African country writes, his certificate is higher than our own. And a lot of time, 90% of those that write these West African exams are Nigerians. So are you now saying that we make the bulk of those that write these exams and you had the mind to downgrade our certificate? It should be immediately reversed.
He further urged patients to remain patient and understanding, emphasizing that the purpose of the strike is ultimately to ensure that doctors can provide better and more attentive care to their patients.
To the patients now, I want you to see this as a win-win for you, because the doctors are for you. When we demand that doctors should work less hours, what it means is that we want to have more time for the patients. When we talk about infrastructure in the hospital, what we are talking about is that the patient should have all that it takes to access the healthcare in Nigeria. And when we talk about remuneration, a hungry doctor is an angry doctor. So we want to treat you and we want to see you on the basis of the best obtainable practice in the world.
In the same vein, the Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Isaac Salako, has highlighted the ministry's ongoing efforts to mediate between the federal government and the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors, NAD, to enhance doctors' welfare and prevent potential strikes. Speaking at a press briefing in Abuja, he said the ministry has maintained continuous engagement with NAD leadership. Key issues being addressed include remuneration training and working conditions.
Ideally, one of the key requirements of CBA is that while it is going on, it is ongoing, there should be no declaration of industrial disputes. But despite that, we met with NADS. I met with them twice last week. The Minister of Finance has met with them. The Minister of Labour and Productivity has met with them. Minister of State for Finance has also met with them to try and address all the 19-point issues that they raised. And today, I can tell you that most of those issues are being addressed. First, they spoke about unregulated work hours and prolonged call duties, mainly due to what they call shortage of manpower. Let me use this opportunity to inform Nigerians that in 2024 alone, the Federal Ministry of Health, using a special waiver mechanism that no other sector enjoys, we were able to engage 14,444 health workers across 64 federal tertiary health institutions.
Away from that, the Delta State Commissioner for Transport, Honoriode Agofure, has inaugurated the Commercial Motorcycles and Tricycles Owners Association (COMTOA) Task Force Monitoring Team statewide, aiming to restore order, improve revenue collection, and enforce discipline in the transport sector. The launch, held at the State Secretariat, ushers in a new phase of regulation for commercial motorcycle and tricycle operations across the state. Commissioner Agofure reminded participants that COMTOA had been suspended prior to Governor Sheriff Oborowori's administration, but was revived to strengthen transport coordination and boost internally generated revenue. He highlighted the importance of collaboration with key agencies, including the Delta State Traffic Management Authority (DESMA), Vehicle Inspection Office (VIO), and security agencies such as the police and the army. The commissioner also stressed the need to prioritize rider welfare, particularly in areas like Warri, where disputes among transport operators have been ongoing. Stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress APC in the Delta North have renewed their call for the creation of Anioma State, urging the National Assembly to address what they described as a long-standing injustice in Nigeria's state structure, particularly the imbalance affecting the Southeast. The group emphasized that Anioma's elevation to statehood is long overdue and crucial to correcting the geopolitical inequality that has left the Southeast with only 5 states. In a letter dated November 3rd, 2025 and signed by its chairman, Chief Adizue Iluaka, the APC Delta North Senatorial District stated that the demand for Anioma State reflects the collective and united will of the people of Delta North, with no dissenting voices across the district. Delta North lawmaker Ned Nwoko has unveiled a newly completed modern mini stadium in Iseluku, describing it as a symbol of unity and collective progress in the region. In a post shared on X on Tuesday, Nwoko said that the facility was designed to inspire young people, promote healthy competition, and strengthen community bonds. The stadium features a standard football pitch, a 7-a-side multi-sports arena, twin pavilions, and fully equipped dressing rooms, creating an enabling environment for sports and recreation. Reaffirming his commitment to grassroots development, Nwoko said his journey of transformation continues, one community at a time. Moving down to the South, President Bola Tinubu has formally welcomed Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri into the All Progressives Congress APC, describing his defection as a milestone for progress, peace, and national unity. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima at a ceremony held on Monday in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa State capital, President Tinubu commended Governor Dere for his visionary leadership and commitment to development. He lauded the governor's efforts in promoting peace and fostering unity through strategic infrastructural projects across the state.
It's about development. Politics goes beyond making noise. Politics goes beyond being in the opposition. Governor Dore, we are mightily proud of you. You have made the right decision. You are now part of the progressive family, a family that thinks and acts together. So we welcome you into this poll to watch and support you as champion as per the APC Constitution. The governor is the leader of the party in the state.
Also speaking at the event, APC National Chairman Nentawe Yowatda congratulated Dere on his decision to join the ruling party and urged him to deliver overwhelming support for President Tinubu in 2027 elections. Meanwhile, Dere assured the people that dividends of democracy will be brought to the Bayelsa people. Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has been commended by the federal government for his efforts in youth development. The praise came from the Minister of Youth and Development, Ayodele Olawande, during a visit to Edo State for the City Boy Movement outreach held on Saturday. The minister was received by the Director General of the City Boy Movement, Honorable Francis Oluwatosin, and the Edo State Director of the movement, Honorable Paddy Iyamo. Olawande lauded Governor Okpebholo's commitment to initiatives aimed at empowering the state's youth population.
Acknowledge the work of the governor of Edo State in improving the lifestyle of the young people, creating an enable environment for the young people to thrive, and also to come and stand for the City Boy movement. That we are here once again. We are in Edo State. We believe in the capacity of the president. We believe that this president has listened to us, and we believe that he has heard our cries as a young people.
We are all excited. You know, the City Boy movement is an arm of the youth, and that's why the minister is here. So we are here to give empowerment to some of our youth in Edo State, and the minister came to show solidarity. So we are all here, you know, to talk about the good things of the government and our president, and how we can also advance the cause of our people, the youth.
And has arrested 2 suspects for unlawful possession of firearms during a bush combing operation aimed at clearing criminal hideouts across the state. In a statement issued on Monday, the Deputy Police Public Relations Officer ASP Eno Ikwedem identified the suspects as Julius Omagbowu, 30, and Omika Musa, 45. The operation led to the recovery of 3 single-barrel shotguns and the arrest of 2 men in connection with the illegal weapons. Commissioner of Police Monday Agbonika commended the Divisional Police Officer of Eho Division and his team, including local vigilantes, for their vigilance and effective intelligence gathering. He assured residents of the command's commitment to maintaining safety and urged the public to report suspicious activities through official communication channels. The Nigerian Copyright Commission, NCC, has on Monday announced plans to document booksellers and printers in Akwa Ibom State as part of efforts to reform the book supply chain and combat piracy. NCC Director General John Assain made the announcement during a meeting with booksellers in Uyo. He explained that the initiative aims to restore order in the book chain by regulating the activities of printers, sellers, and warehouse operators. The move comes in response to identified gaps in the sales, storage, and publication of books across the state. Assain further highlighted concerns that schools have been selling pirated books to students instead of sourcing from authorized vendors. The Rivers State government has called on film producers, directors, and scriptwriters to use their creative platforms to promote the state's rich cultural heritage. Secretary to the state government, Benibo Anna Braba, made a call while receiving a delegation from the Rivers International Film Festival in Port Harcourt on Monday. And Nabraba noted that Governor Siminalayi Fubara recognizes the social, cultural and economic value of tourism, which informed the government's decision to pursue a public-private partnership aimed at rehabilitating, developing and rebranding the Port Harcourt tourist beach in Borokiri. He commended the filmmakers for projecting River State on the global stage in filming and the arts. To the southeast, all candidates and political parties participating in the November 8, 2025 Anambra State governorship election have signed a peace accord pledging to maintain peace and decorum before, during and after the poll. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, who supervised the event in Oka under the auspices of the National Peace Committee NPC, said the initiative was aimed at ensuring a credible and violence-free election. The colorful ceremony held at the International Conference Center, Oka, brought together political leaders, security agencies, INEC officials, civil society groups, and traditional rulers. Represented by DIG Ben Okolo, the IGP emphasized the political tolerance and the respect for democratic principles, assuring that security agencies would remain neutral and professional. He also commended Anambra State Commissioner of Police CP Ikuye Urutugu for his proactive efforts and consistent advocacy for peace across the state. The Abia State government has urged communities to cooperate on land acquisition matters, assuring them that their lands will not be taken without adequate compensation. Commissioner for Information Oke Kano made remarks on Monday while briefing journalists on the outcome of the week's Executive Council meeting presided over by Governor Alex Oti. Kano emphasized that the current administration continues to provide substantial compensation despite the 1978 Land Use Act granting the government ownership of major lands. He also assured that lands acquired for specific purposes would not be diverted to other projects. In addition, the state government has approved the implementation of the Consolidated Health Salary Structures (CONHES) for local government workers. The Enugu State government has formally inaugurated a local organizing committee (LOC) for the 2025 National Festival of Arts and Culture (NAFEST) scheduled to hold in Enugu from November 22 to 29, 2025. Governor Peter Mba, represented by the Secretary of the State Government, Chidebere Onya, charged the committee to deliver a world-class and memorable cultural festival that will showcase Enugu's rich heritage, artistic excellence, and vibrant tourism potential. He emphasized the importance of meticulous planning, effective coordination, and the timely execution of all preparatory activities, urging the committee to project Enugu as a peaceful, dynamic, and culturally rich state. The LOC stress was expected to coordinate all subcommittees and stakeholders involved in the festival, handle logistics, publicity, hospitality, and security, as well as showcase Enugu's cultural and tourism assets. The Imo State Police Command has launched an investigation into the assault of a 55-year-old Ndidi Amaka Agu by a group of men in Emekuku near Owerri, the state capital. In a statement issued on Tuesday in Owerri, the command spokesperson Henry Okoye said the attack was allegedly motivated by Agu's cooperation with police officers during an investigation. He added that the State Commissioner of Police, Aboki Danjuma, ordered the probe after a viral video showed the men assaulting the victim, who hails from Umwa Kaliuko Kindred, Obwegbelu, Azaroudo, Emekuku. Acting on the directive, the X-Squad unit has begun efforts to identify, arrest, and bring all those involved in the incident to justice without delay. Moving down to the national scene, President Bola Tinubu has sought the National Assembly's approval for a fresh 1.15 trillion naira borrowing from the domestic debt market to fund the 2025 budget deficit. The request was conveyed in a letter read during Senate plenary on Tuesday. According to the letter, the proposed borrowing aims to bridge the funding gap and ensure full implementation of government programs and projects under the 2025 fiscal plan. The Senate President has referred the request to the Committee on Local and Foreign Debt, which is expected to report back within 1 week for further legislative action. President Bola Tinubu has formally requested the Senate to screen and confirm Kingsley Tochukwu Ude, a senior advocate of Nigeria, SAN, from Enugu State as a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The request was conveyed in a letter read on the Senate floor by Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who subsequently referred the nomination to the Committee of the Whole for detailed consideration and screening. Ude's nomination comes following the resignation of former Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Nnaji, the only minister from Enugu State in Tinubu's cabinet who stepped down last month amid controversy over the authenticity of his University of Nigeria Nsukka degree and NYSC discharge certificates. You are still tuned to the news on Quest. Up ahead, more news across Nigeria, business, foreign and sports news. Do stay with us.
Quest. Beyond expectations.
Quest 106.1 FM and Quest Television is your gateway to success for adverts placement, news and events coverage from Ugbolu, Asaba and beyond. Reach out to us today. Let's be your partner in growth. Call our marketing lines every day on 0913-865-9453. I'll take that again, 0913-865-9453.
Quest 106.1 FM, beyond expectations.
I think this has gone far beyond this now.
Come and give us garage, we want the scale. Not be along the road, not be garage.
Presently, they are not fighting corruption. They are
in developing a retail payment system that all the Nigerians can access.
I come to you with very deep in my heart.
It was not an allegation of misappropriation.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And now to the rest of the news. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has on Monday dismissed claims that Christians are being targeted under President Bola Tinubu's administration. Speaking in an interview with Newsman, Wike describes the narrative of genocide as politics taken too far. He added that the loss of Nigerian lives anywhere in the country is a tragedy that brings no joy to any government. Similarly, the 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has expressed serious concern over United States President Donald Trump's threat to invade Nigeria over alleged Christian genocide. Obi made the remarks on Monday via a post on X 2 days after Trump warned that if Nigeria fails to stop the killings, the United States would act fast, vicious and swift, just like terrorist thugs. I recall that on Saturday, Trump also disclosed on Truth Social that he had asked the Pentagon to map out a possible military plan for Nigeria, citing what he called an existential threat. Obi further criticized Trump's designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern and called for diplomatic engagement to resolve the tensions. He urged Nigerians to remain calm, vigilant as the situation unfolds. And the Director General of the National Orientation Agency, Lanre Issa Onilu, has criticized United States President Donald Trump over his recent genocide allegations against Nigeria, describing them as evidence of another failure of American intelligence. Speaking on Monday at the monthly National Joint Security Press briefing in Abuja, Issa Onilu said this was not the first time the U.S. intelligence had misfired, citing past failures in Iraq, Libya, and Afghanistan. Trump's post on Truth Social, Issa Onilo dismissed the claim as reckless and misleading, urging Nigerians to remain calm and confident in the nation's security institutions. Now moving on to other stories, the Federal High Court George Justice James Omotosho has given the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB Nnamdi Kanu, until November 5 to either begin his defense in the alleged terrorism case or waive his rights to do so. The order follows Kanu's failure for the fourth consecutive day to enter his defense after the prosecution closed its case and the court overruled his no-case submission. Justice Omotosho warned that if Kanu does not open his defense by the November 5 deadline, he will be deemed to have waived his rights to do so. Recall that the court had earlier adjourned proceedings on October 27, giving Kanu until November 4 to file his final written address or commence his defense. At the latest hearing, Kanu, representing himself, stated that he had not submitted a final written address as ordered, but instead filed a motion accompanied by a supporting affidavit. State Police Command has declared human rights activist Omoyele Sowore wanted over an alleged plot to disrupt public peace in the state. Commissioner of Police Olohun Dare Jimoh made the announcement on Monday while briefing newsmen in Lagos, revealing that the police had uncovered plans to cause hardship for residents and visitors through a planned protest. Jimoh added that 13 suspects linked to the demonstration had already been arrested. He describes the protest as unnecessary, noting that affected residents of Oworun-Shoki had already been compensated by the government. Furthermore, the police has urged anyone with information on Sowore's whereabouts to come forward. And now we move to business news.
Welcome to Business News. Chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, Taiwo Oyedele, has announced on Monday, starting January 1st, 2026, new tax laws will provide various reliefs and exemptions for low-income earners, average taxpayers, and small businesses. He noted on X that individuals earning the national minimum wage or less, as well as those with annual gross income up to 1,200,000 naira, about 800,000 naira taxable, will benefit from these tax breaks. Eligible deductions and reliefs include pension contributions to PFAs, National Health Insurance Scheme payments, National Housing Fund contributions, interests on home loans, life insurance and annuity reforms, and up to 20% rent relief capped at 500,000 naira. I am Awele Wabwebo.
Thanks a lot, Awele. Next is the foreign scene.
Welcome to News on the Foreign Scene. Former nominal head of state of North Korea, Kim Jong-nam, has passed away at the age of 97 from multiple organ failure related to cancer. North Korea's official state media confirmed the death on Tuesday, noting that Kim Jong-nam had led the country's parliament for more than 2 decades and often represented North Korea at official events and foreign visits. His funeral is scheduled for Thursday in Pyongyang, with North Korean Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un visiting the Bear on Tuesday to express condolences, highlighting his lifelong loyalty to the ruling Kim family. And that's the update on the foreign scene. Jasmine.
Thanks a lot, Jasmine. Next is the breezy world of sports.
Welcome to Sports News. Nigerian side Rivers United have been placed in Group A of the 2025-2026 CAF Champions League after Monday's draw at the Super Sports Studio in Johannesburg, South Africa. Rivers United will face Pyramid of Egypt, RS Berkane of Morocco and Power Dynamos of Zambia in what is seen as one of the tournament's toughest group. This marked Rivers United's first appearance in group stage following their 3-2 aggregate win over Mozambique side Black Bulls in the final qualification round. This is it from Sports Desk. Christian Nemeka.
All right, Christian, thank you. That wraps up the news. But before we go, here is a recap of our major headlines. President Bola Tinubu seeks 1.15 trillion domestic borrowing for 2025 budget. Federal High Court sets November 5 deadline for Nnamdi Kanu to begin defense. From Delta State, resident doctors urge government to meet demands, seek dialogue to end strike. On the foreign scene, former North Korean state head Kim Jong-nam dies at 97. And finally, from the exciting world of sports, Rivers United join CAF Group A showdown. Thanks for watching. I am Mariah Goretti Ulube.